Hello, I'm Maria Kliavkoff from the Healthy Morning Revolution, and I am here to talk to you today about the concept of closure. It is so earth shattering to me that we give people advice at the time of their grief and the time of their loss that what they most need to do right now is to seek or find closure. It is such a myth of grief, and I'm hoping that everyone who can hear my voice will be able to reframe their thinking around this because it's just not true. When we are in our grief journey, there are two things that are required of us. Number one, we're being asked to come to reconciliation with the idea that our loved one is no longer part of our physical presence. And that is enough to deal with without this larger concept of closure. And I think where closure came from originally is the idea that we are bringing to a close this phase of our relationship. And as those of you who have listened to me for a while now know, my favorite quote, "Death ends a life, not a relationship," speaks specifically to this. The death that we have experienced has ended the physical existence of our loved one, but our relationship with them continues on. And so this notion that we need to bring closure to a relationship is so contrary to what our insides know to be true. And because it's contrary to what our insides know to be true, every part of our being fights against this idea. And so we have people who are recommending things like, write a letter that contains everything you ever wanted to say or everything you ever will want to say to this person, and burn the letter and let it go and release it and relieve it. And it's just, that's not how grief happens. And so no wonder we bury and carry our grief, or we avoid our grief, because we think that that's the way to do grief. And we think that that's what's true for us. And the reality is the relationship continues on. And so the second part of the grief journey is about finding where the relationship lives now. And what I suggest to all of my clients, the way that I work, is in the recognition that as we focus our energy on where is the relationship now, and we continue to gently explore where the relationship is now, so do we begin to recognize that that the things that don't feel true to us are not true. And so we have to trust our insides. We have to trust our inner knowing. You are the expert on your grief journey. Always, always, always. Your insides know how to heal from this and know how to get to joy. And the joy that I'm talking about is there's a period after we grieve where we're not joyful. We are genuinely sad. We are devastated by the loss of their physical presence. And as we're coming to reconciliation with that, as we're coming to acceptance of they're not part of the physical realm, the only way we're going to find joy again is if we reclaim those memories. We can't do that if we're afraid of our memories, if we're afraid that the memories are going to bring up tears, or that the memories are going to bring up something that we just don't want to handle. And so many people live in fear of their grief. They're in fear of their tears, and so they don't go to the memories because the memories bring up tears. Yes, in the beginning, when we do our grief work, the memories do bring up tears, and those are important tears to shed. It's important for us to go to those places of the ugly cry, of the shaking of our bodies that is reacting to the physical loss. It's important that we move through the physical loss. It is not important that we bring closure to the relationship. It is important that we ask the question, where does the relationship live now? And that we explore that question, because when we explore that question, we actually reclaim the memories. There's joy in what we discover at the other side of this. And there's joy in how the relationship starts to show up, how the memories start to show up in our world, how we connect with our loved ones and those memories. It actually gives us a sense of calm. It gives us a sense of peace. And we begin to step back into our lives with a sense of joy, anchoring into our ancestors. The natives believe all of our ancestors live with us and around us, and it's absolutely true. We live with our ancestors when we allow those memories to be part of the relationship going forward. So I invite you to explore, how do you find where that relationship sits now, and to find your joy in living by bringing those memories forward, by sharing those memories with others. If you're not sure how to do this, if you're confused about any of this, please let me know. Go to healthymourning.com, book a free consult with me, and let's explore where you might be stuck in your grief journey so that we can find the pathway through to living your most joyful life again and reconnecting in a living relationship with your loved one, because that's what will free you to live your life the best that you can be. If you want to hear more on this topic about closure, I recorded a podcast that is releasing the same time as this video is recording. If you find this helpful, please join us, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the Healthy Mourning Revolution radio podcast, and let us continue on this grief journey together. You do not need to journey this one alone. Much love to you. Namaste.